Okay, so we're looking at setup instructions for ViewMaker for Laravel 5.2, and this is the GitHub page where the instructions are. And this is really simple. Let's just briefly kind of go over what ViewMaker is. It's a package for custom artisan commands. It installs 12 new commands. And this does things like creates a master page with dependencies. It creates a foundation, which includes a whole bunch of code and results in the views with Datagrids like you see here. It has a full CRUD application, and you can even make charts. So there's a whole bunch of different commands. You can make parent-child. So for example, if you were doing category and subcategory, you could do that with ViewMaker in one go, and it's really fast. So let's get this installed, and we can start playing around with it, and you'll see just how much fun it is to play with ViewMaker and what it can do for you, and how it supercharges your workflow. Okay, so we're going to start by grabbing the composer command here, and we will be popping that into the command line like so. And we'll go ahead and hit return. And that's just going to take a minute to download. And the next step after this is to add the service provider to the providers array in the config / app.php file. So we'll go ahead and grab this. Now I can't really do that before this finishes downloading. Sometimes when you pop in a service provider into that providers array and you don't have the files, things go kind of haywire on you. So I like to wait. Okay, so I see that we're caught up here. So I'm going to go into config in app.php right here. So I can add the line. It's just that simple. Just paste it right in, and then go ahead and save. And we're pretty much ready to go. And to prove it, what we're going to do is we're going to list the artisan commands, and we'll see that we've got a bunch of new commands. So PHP artisan list, and we'll go up here to the make section, and you can see the second command there is make chart. Makes a really nice chart.js chart implemented with view.js. We'll get into that in a later video. We've got make child of, which creates a foundation for a child of a parent that you specify and relates the two. We have make CRUD, which creates the model, migration, route, controller, factory, and test. Basically all the background stuff for the views if you want to create those separately. To do it all in one shot, we have make foundation. That's this command here. And that creates a model, route, controller, migration, factory, test, and views, including the API controller. And then another one we have here is make parent-child. And so, for example, if you had category and subcategory and you wanted to stand that up all at once, it would create two foundations for the parent and child models all in one shot. And that's really handy. And then make views. If for some reason you either ran the make CRUD command and you wanted to run the make views command separately, or you had your own, you built your own backend CRUD methods, and you didn't want to use this, as long as it conformed to the conventions, you could use this create views command, and that would create the views for you. So that comes in really handy. And then down here we have 5 remove commands: remove chart from files. Remove chart, remove child of, remove CRUD, remove foundation, and remove views. And basically what that does is it allows you to step backwards really easily in case you make a typo, which is typically what happens in that kind of situation. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration here just to kind of prove that point. I'm going to go artisan make foundation, and let's say I intended widget, but I'm going to spell it wrong. And I'm going to call it wedget, and I'll give the second argument, which is the name of the master page, and then the template type. So now I've created a whole bunch of files, and we'll get into this more in the next video, but just to go ahead and see some of the files that we created, you'll see over here that there is a wedget view folder, there's a wedget model. If I go up here under controllers, there's a wedget controller, there's an API controller, and all of that, of course, is misspelled, which is kind of miserable if you'd have to go through and extract all that one by one. So the remove command comes in really handy. So PHP artisan remove, and I'm just going to, remove foundation, and I'm just going to supply it the name of that model, and just like that, it's all gone. So if I go back to controllers, that API controller is gone, the widget controller is gone, the widget model is gone, and the widget view folder is gone with all the views. So that gives you an idea of how you can easily step backwards. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this introduction to ViewMaker for Laravel 5.2, just coming back to the documentation on GitHub, and just to point out that it's really robust. I list all the commands, screenshots of what the commands do. Over here, if you just click on one, it'll take you right to that section. It'll explain like, this is the signature of the command, and then an actual demonstration of the command. And then what the command creates. Has a lot of great information in here, including it has a workflow tutorial. So there's just a lot of really good information here. If you really want a good overview on what ViewMaker does, I went through a lot of trouble to create this documentation and really make sure it covered just about everything. So I will be backing this up with videos to try to make things even easier, but you don't have to wait for the videos. You could just go right into the tutorials on the GitHub page, and that should take you a long way. I hope you enjoyed ViewMaker. It's been a lot of fun making it, and I have a lot of fun using it. So I hope you enjoy this too, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.